Hi, I'm Stuart and welcome to SIRENNET Television. Going to take a look at some brand new product that's come out from SoundOff Signal. It's part of their nFORCE series of lights. The first one we're going to take a look at is a deck light, and by definition you can mount that on the rear deck of a vehicle, or you can also mount it up on the front windscreen area as well. The light head itself comes with a shroud. That's what's currently around it. Now if I turn it towards the camera there, you can actually see the diodes across here, as well as the ability to see the underneath and the rear area as well. The suction cups are mounted left and right side of that, so you can suction mount this. Now the light itself will come in a variety of diodes. You'll have a 6, 9, 12 and 18 diode version of this particular light, and we'll take a closer look at the configuration of the diodes and the reflector in a minute. And we'll also be going ahead and putting these lights on a vehicle so you can see them in action as well. So this is the deck light version. There is another version. Let's quickly take a look at that. This is the surface mount version. Essentially what goes on here is that you'll have a gasket with this particular light, tie that in with the two screws, left and right side of the light. You would obviously put a template into position, drill the holes, mount the light with the gasket into position so it will be flat like this, and therefore you have a surface mount light. Now you could also of course use this on the back deck of a vehicle if you saw fit to do so. You might get a little bit of bounce back inside the vehicle, but it's definitely something that if you want to look at, you could check it out. Let me go ahead and take the flange off. That'll give you a chance to see how the diodes are configured here. You can see here, if I angle it correctly with the camera, you've got the diodes at the base of the light, and then we have the sort of a arc that curves up. You can see it there nicely there actually. And that arc then projects the light from the base up and into the reflector. Now the reflector itself is set up with a diffuser on the top piece, which we have going across here, and then on the bottom piece, which is down here, you see there's a clear window. And this allows the light itself to give two very distinctive bursts of light. So again, with the 6 diode, the 9 diode, 12, or the 18 diode, you'll get a pretty serious punch of light. Now, the 6 and the 12 and the 9, they have an array of lighting colors which are available, and the 18 itself is basically 3 different light configurations with respect to colors. So you could have a red, blue, white configuration, or you could have an amber, red, white configuration. Really, by checking out the website, you can see out the different variations of the 18 diode version of this light is. Now we're going to go ahead and turn on this light on a vehicle, go check it out, and we'll go into some more detail about the color options. Again, as usual, all the tech specs, of course, are available on the website. Well, we've come down into the lower studio area here, and we're going to take a look at a brand new Ford Mustang, which we have gone ahead and mounted the SoundOff light heads in. The first light that we're going to be taking a look at is going to be the deck light, and the second light we'll be taking a look at is the surface mount light. So let's first of all come on down here to the lower level studio and check out these lights. So in my hand here happens to be the deck light variation of the nFORCE family of lights. The deck light itself has been mounted into this Ford Mustang. So the first light we're going to take a look at is going to be the inline Gen 3 6 diode version, which happens to be split. Now a couple of things to quickly note. The split variations have a total of 24 different flash patterns, whereas the singles, as that being the solid colors, they actually have 12. So the first one we're going to turn on happens to be a split red-blue, and this is the 6 diode. And we'll kind of quickly scroll through some of the flash patterns to just give you an idea of how those look. Now the next light we're going to go ahead and put on happens to be the 12 diode version. And you can see that firing away in a second. Now again, with the 12 diode variation, you've got the ability to split it, but you can split it as a solid blue-red alternating versus the 6 diode, which of course is a left-right configuration. And again, you've got a total of 24 different flash patterns available with the split variation. The light head I'm holding in my hand happens to be a 9 diode. I'm going to go ahead and put that on in a minute, so I'll show it to you in a second, and we can go check that out real quick. Now I've gone ahead and turned on the 9 diode. Now this particular one happens to be a solid color, so it has a total of 12 different flash patterns. You can see one of them quite happily firing away at the camera. I'm also going to turn it a little bit to the left and to the right, as you can see there. So from an off-axis perspective, pretty solid. And again, with respect to the actual shroud itself, you're definitely going to have reduced bounce back inside the vehicle. And again, when you check out the website, there is, of course, a flash pattern section on the site for each of the respective light heads available from SoundOff in the nFORCE family, and you'll be able to check out the different flash patterns. So let's go ahead and take a look at the deck light variation of the nFORCE product from SoundOff. And we're going to go ahead and turn them on really quickly. These are the 9 diode variation. They're solid colors, so you have a red on one side and a blue on the other, as you can clearly see here. And as I mentioned earlier, in the solid colors you have a total of 12 flash patterns, whereas if these were split, you'd have a total of 24 flash patterns. Now the deck variation does come with an H bracket, which will allow you to mount this on the actual back deck of the vehicle. And of course there is also a surface mount variation of the same light, which of course has a flange on it, so you can surface mount it. So there's really 3 different styles of lights. You've got the standard traditional deck light configuration, similar to what's on the back deck here. You have a windshield light variation. You could also mount on the rear deck if you decide to do so. And there's a surface mount variation as well. Tech specs for all these lights, of course, are available on the website. Really a great job done by the gang over at SoundOff. We will be taking a look at this vehicle at night as well, so we'll show you that piece of footage coming right up. Well, there you have it. A quick look, more or less anyway, at the new nFORCE available here at SIRENNET from SoundOff Signal. Very interesting product indeed. And again, there's different variants of the light itself, so you can check out the website to find which one will suit your needs. Again, many, many thanks for watching SIRENNET Television. I'm Stuart.